I'm Ztarli, and in this video I'm drawing a baby Flame Stalker from the game Day of Dragons. This is a two-part video, with the first part being sketch, line art, basic background, flat colours and shadow and highlight layer, and the second video being painting and finalising of the background. As usual, I'm starting off with a sketch. Just chosen a dark purple colour for this one, and I've used the H pencil paintbrush to sketch with. I sketched an item that I'll be using for the background first, which is on the left. It's a burnt out stump which Flame Stalkers use for nesting in the game Day of Dragons, and I just wanted to have it behind the baby Flame Stalker as if it's just come out of the nest for the first time. It is currently too small and is in the wrong position, but I will make it larger and move it into position later on. Sketching the baby Flame Stalker on the right, it's not the best of sketches, but it's just to give a rough idea of where it's going to be and how its limbs are going to be positioned before I move on to the next stage of the picture. I've done something a little bit different with how I've sped up the video than how I normally would. Normally all my videos are recorded at 5x speeds, and most of my recordings are 2 hours long without the speed up. In this one, I decided that I would speed up all parts of the video which don't involve switching tools to 10x speeds, and the parts where you need to see what I'm doing a bit more, I've left at 5x speed, just so my videos don't go for 15 minutes and they're a bit easier to watch. Let me know in the comments below if you actually prefer longer videos that have a slower speed so you can really see how I'm using my tools, or if you just like watching the time lapse and you'd actually prefer it to be sped up more and just watch shorter videos. I've moved on to the line art layer now. I'm using the bamboo paintbrush with the smoothing feature on, and I'm just doing a rough outline of the creature. I don't plan to keep the line layers, and I normally don't. I'm actually toying with the idea of stopping doing line layers again, as I had done that in the past. Kinda feels a little bit like a pointless step to me, since I usually combine all the layers and then paint over it later. But I don't know, I think maybe the lines do help me if they're more solid. I might play around with it in a picture in the future, I'm not sure yet. Now doing a rough background before moving on to the flats for the dragon. I find doing the background first does help in choosing the right colours when I do the dragon itself. Sometimes if you just have a white background, you can end up choosing the wrong colours. You can end up with things too bright or too dark because you're always looking at a picture in comparison to its background, and that can affect on how you actually see colours. I'm having a lot of fun with this ash colour. I actually really enjoyed making this log and the piles of ash around it. There was just something really nice about painting the greys and mixing them together. The Flame Stalker is another one of Day of Dragons that has not been released yet, but it is expected to be released in the next week or so, and I'm super excited to play it. It looks really polished, and from all the things I've seen about it, it looks like a really cool dragon to play. It has like heat vision, so you can see creatures, even ones that are cloaked, and you can see like prey from far away. And the animation on it is it's just beautiful. I really love the flying animation and how the muscles move while flying. So I'm really excited for this to come out. It is expected to be released in the next week or two. So I guess I just have to hold on a little bit longer, and then I'll get to burn the ground with my Flame Stalker dragon. Now moved on to flat colours. I've done one flat solid colour, and now I'm adjusting the colour to be what would be, I guess, the most basic of its colours, that would be underneath all other colours. Then after that, I've created a layer above it that only affects the layer below, and I'm just adding as a dark leg markings and the wing markings, and then I'll add the colour for the underbelly and the little specks of yellow around it as well. I had a lot of fun doing all these little specks and little, I guess, scales all over it. It kind of looks like a little hyena at the moment, but that's okay. Hyenas are cute too. At least I think they are. What do you think? Do you think hyenas are cute, or do you think they're scary monsters with massively powerful jaws? Let me know. I adore the orange on the underside of its feet. I think it's really cute. This orange is just a tiny bit off, so I'm just going to adjust it just a teensy wincy teeny bit, a little bit more yellow. There we go. I think that's right. The flats are nearly done. Not that these are really that flat. This is kind of the most painting I've done on a flat layer in a long time. Kind of guess kind of defeats the purpose of having a flat and then a painter layer, but if it works, it works, and it's working for me, so I'm just going to continue doing whatever I want, really. I start playing with the line layer again. I'm just not really happy how it's affecting colors below it. So I try a couple of different blending types before settling on something, but I actually return to this again later because I'm still not happy with it. It's part of the reason I'm wondering if I should just stop doing line art or if I should continue doing it or not. Anyway, I'm now moving on to the shadow layer. I've chosen a bright blue so I can see where I'm putting the shadows, and then I will adjust the shadows to match the dragon better later in the video. When I was recording this video, I actually wasn't feeling 100%, and I struggled with quite a few parts of the process, including the line layer, which we've talked about before, and this point in the video where I scroll through a zillion different blending modes trying to decide what's the right color to have the shadow layer on, and if I should have two different colors for the lighter parts of the dragon and the darker part of the dragon. I end up choosing what colors match the lighter part, and then I try to paint over the darker part, but I still don't like it, and I end up just undoing that all and settling on a purple color and just adding a blending mode to it so that the shadows appear on all of the body instead of having to repaint it on parts of the body. I've now just got an eraser tool and I'm just erasing parts of the shadow back so I can add in where the bones would be on the wing and just get some of those shapes a bit better, a bit in line with how the dragon's body would flow. And there I am fiddling with the line layer yet again. Now moved on to the highlight layer. I don't want to put too much highlight on this dragon, but it definitely needs something. It's just parts of it are just not popping out enough at the moment. So I just choose a sort of bluish color, which is meant to be the sky, and I just put blobs everywhere. And then I get my smudge tool and I smudge it in a bit to make it a little less harsh. And then I'm going to adjust the color so that it does look more like a sky color and less like, I don't know, some kind of weird ocean color. It does end up taking me much longer than it normally would to find the right colors and the right saturation and blending mode for this layer. Again, I'm just not feeling 100% on the day I was drawing this, so my concentration levels were a bit low and I just wasn't focused enough to get it right the first time. Now that I'm finally happy with that layer, I realized that it looks kind of strange with the highlight layer having sky highlights on it, but not actually having any of that color somewhere in the background. So I just pop a quick color dump down over sky, and then I blur that layer about 3 or 4 times so that the line between the sky and the earth is less sharp. I then grab my eraser tool and I eat back into that highlight layer. I want to make it pretty obvious that there's scales on here and it's not just a perfectly smooth baby dragon. So I'm just erasing in between the scales to give it more form. And again, I seem to be adjusting the highlight layer and also the line layer for like the 3rd time each. Oh, I'm sure I'll get it right eventually. This next layer looks super drastic to begin with, but I'm basically applying this color so that I can apply distance to parts of the dragon. I want the wings to appear further back, as with the tail and the back legs. So I apply a lighter layer and then I erase parts of it. So I'll do different amounts of erasing depending on how close I want the parts of the dragon to be to the camera. And that's it for this video. The layers are already merged, ready for the next stage, which will be the painting stage, which will be in part 2 of this video. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!